Hey guys, it's Lewis on the Gaming Rift, and I just want to thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers, and thank you for a very nice birthday stream yesterday. You guys really did make the whole entire thing special. It was once again fantastic. I enjoyed it immensely, and I hope you guys did as well. We had a lot of fun streaming zombies together, playing zombies yesterday. It was absolutely fun, and I cannot wait to do the same again today. Even though obviously it's not a birthday stream, but you know what it is. But anyways, guys, do you know what we are here for? We're going to be ranking my favorite map from every single Call of Duty game ever. Yes, it's the non-Treyarchs. Yes, it's Vanguard. Yes, it's Extinction from COD Ghosts. You guys probably forgot about it. As always, one map per game, and the same game cannot appear twice. Let's get right on into it. If you are fans of the videos, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're on the road to 2K subscribers. That'd be great. Now let's get into it. I embraced my inner Smith plays there. As always, starting with World at War, guys, and obviously it's Der Reese. This map introduced the Pack-a-Punch machine. It had a really nice map layout, introduced teleporters, which were really fun, and obviously we're going back to the Pack-a-Punch machine. It just changed zombies forever. The other three maps were pretty good in their own way. You know, Nacht was the iconic original, Shinonuma was pretty broken for high rounds, and obviously Verrucht also had an amazing atmosphere. But come on, it's Der Reese. We all know and love this. Even though the Wunderwaffe is pretty bugged in this game, it's still a phenomenal experience, and we play it even to this day. Interestingly enough, however, it's not my favorite version of Der Reese. I actually prefer the Giant. I know that may be a bit of a hot take. However, the map is still incredible, and it became as iconic as anything in the zombies community. Now, Black Ops 1 was the hardest for me to rank because I think the game is quite overrated, and I think that the maps didn't age all that well, and I think that with the introduction of Chronicles, there was really no reason to replay the game other than Call of the Dead and 5, because the other maps were just made way better in Chronicles, so obviously I had to rank it based on that. However, I would still say my favorite of the bunch is Ascension. People say it's overrated. I mean, there's just no denying how iconic this map was. You know, it introduced so much into zombies, introduced two iconic perks, fan favorites with Stamina Up and PhD, the Matryoshka dolls, the sickle, the Gersh device, brought back the Thunder Gun, and it also gave us the first open map layout, kind of reminiscent of D Machine, if that makes sense. I know it has fuck all in common with D Machine, but you know what I mean. It also had the first ever Easter egg in zombies, period. The only thing I dislike about this map are the colors and the monkeys. However, these were fixed in Black Ops 3, making it one of the most fun maps for me. On to Black Ops 2, and this had a lot of really good maps that could have been nominated, but obviously my favorite is Origins. Anyone knows me, you'll know that this is one of my favorite maps of all time. It had the Primus characters, which were amazing. Fantastic Easter egg reminiscent of the Black Ops 1 campaign, you know, secure the keys, skewer the winged beast, all that good stuff. An incredible map layout, really did push the boundaries considering it was on last gen. You know, you had the 1,000 foot tall robots, you had all the innovation that this game really did bring to the table. You know, the golden shovel, the dig sites, the rainbow perk challenge, reverse rainbow perk challenge, 4 elemental wonder weapons set, which became instantly iconic, something that Der Eisendrache as well as Ancient Evil, you know, would also come and appreciate and, you know, take inspiration from the GOAT of the zombies community. Yes, it's a little bit overrated in areas like the mud is kind of crap and things like that, but ultimately, you know, it was a fantastic map for the time, and I still play it 10 years later. Moving on to Extinction, guys, the first non-Treyarch mode, and obviously my favorite is Mayday. I know a lot of people might not even have played Extinction, let alone remember it. However, Extinction is a very underrated game mode that I would stream more and play more if you guys obviously liked it, but I know that some people pray to the Treyarch gods and despise anything that isn't Treyarch. But honestly, this map really wasn't that bad. You know, some of the Extinction maps like Awakening and Exodus were pretty bad. Mayday was pretty good. You obviously had the Kraken boss, which would later inspire the boss fight in the custom map Leviathan. You can't really say it's bad for that. It once again had 4 elemental wonder weapons with the Venom X. You had the fire, electricity, toxic, and, you know, the summoning version, which were really fun. You had pretty interesting characters, although admittedly the characters in Extinction overall weren't that good. Obviously the highlight of this map was the ship layout, as well as, you know, the Kraken boss fight. You know, the Kraken really does carry this map for me. Now for Exo Zombies, and I don't want to sound like Noah J456 here, but obviously it's Descent. The other maps really weren't that good. I didn't like Carrier very much, and the less we say about Infection, the better. Outbreak was a pretty decent starting map, but it was a bit too bare bones compared to Descent. You know, obviously what carries Descent for me was the Easter egg and the boss fight. You know, the boss fight against Oz was not the best. I do prefer some of the Extinction bosses, if you want me to be honest with you. However, you know, the Easter egg was pretty good. I like the emphasis on the exosuit. You know, you have those, like the little obstacle course where you have to parkour outside the map. I really do like that. The Trident wonder weapons were pretty good. You know, I do prefer the Cauterizer and, you know, the Limbo, I think, from, you know, Carrier. But realistically, this map was pretty good. I do like the underwater setting. It was nice. Although, there's no denying the fact that this map didn't quite meet the mark. No, it's not a top 5 zombies map of all time. I'm not praising it that much. However, the map is kind of underrated, I'd say, and I would recommend trying it if you haven't already. Sorry, Dryzen Drac fanboys, but my favorite map in Black Ops 3 is still Shadows of Evil. Debatably my favorite map of all time. I go back and forth between Shadows and Origins. One day I prefer Shadows, the next day I prefer Origins, as to which one I like the most. But this map, quite literally, is Mob of the Dead but better. You know, Beast Mode is better than Afterlife. The Apothicon Servant, the best wonder weapon in zombies ever, completely blows the Blundergat out of the water. I know we love it, it's iconic, but come on, it just doesn't even compare. The Margwa, one of the best bosses ever. You also have a shit ton of innovation, like, you know, the purple pods, kind of reminiscent of the dig sites from Origins, but a little bit more manageable. You have, you know, the boss zombies, you know, the Xenomatter. You have the rocket shield, which is really cool, and obviously the introduction of Widow's Wine, one of the best perks of all time. This map has a perfect map layout, amazing transportation methods. The first boss fight in a Treyarch Zombies release, really, it couldn't have been anything else. I think Dryzen Drac would have been a close second, but in my opinion, no map in Black Ops 3 really comes close to matching this map. This map, in my opinion, is near perfect. Debatably perfect, although obviously nothing can ever be perfect. This map truly is spectacular. It holds a special place in my heart. I will always love it. It will always be my favorite in BO3. Now for Infinite Warfare Zombies, guys, and obviously it's Zombies in Spaceland. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this. The other maps really weren't that good. Raven the Redwoods, it was okay, I guess, but realistically this map was the best in the game. Incredible map layout, you know, the 80s setting was very good. You had Point Dexter, Mr. T-Lexify was in the game as a playable character. You literally had roller coasters you could ride and shoot targets and stuff. It was incredible. You had Dodge 'em. The boss fight against the alien was challenging, but it was also very fun. You had the Goliath, like, alien mini boss, kind of reminiscent of the Panzer. You had, you know, the Freeze wonder weapon, which wasn't all that special. However, you also had the 4 different, you know, plasma pistol wonder weapons, which were all fun to use in their own regards. Realistically, Spaceland is a very iconic, interesting map. Not a lot of people have played it because it's non-Treyarch, but honestly, give it a go, because it's better than most Treyarch maps. Same story with World War II, guys. Obviously, the best map in this game was the launch map, the Final Reich, and I actually really do enjoy this map, and I do want to go replay it, because again, this map really was special, and it was better than a lot of Treyarch maps. And yes, the rest of the DLC was pretty ass. You know, obviously you had 3 of the worst maps ever in this game, but the Final Reich was not one of them. I actually did enjoy the cast of, especially, you know, David Tennant playing the Scottish guy. You obviously had, you know, the Tesla wonder weapon, which was nothing special, but it was still quite unique. You had the gritty, dark World War II zombies vibe, which was very good. You had the 2 versions of the Easter egg. You had the easier version as well as the harder version, and obviously the Panzer Mordor boss fight was just incredible. I enjoyed it a lot. It literally reminded me of something from a horror film. That shit was really, really cool. The map layout was also pretty nice. I love that there was very different vibes. You had the city area on top. You also had the bloody area underneath, which was really nice. Honestly, this is a really good map, and I'd recommend people try it. Now for Black Ops 4, we have a problem, because for BO4, I think there were only 2 maps that could have been in contention here, 9 and Ancient Evil. I think Ancient Evil is objectively the better one of the 2, and however, I just haven't played it in a while, but from what I remember, this map was genuinely a blast to play. You know, you had the 4 gauntlets that were all very unique, and actually, they were completely unique. You know, you had Gaia, Light, Wind, and I can't remember the other one, like the Blood Gauntlet, possibly. They were all really fun to use. The Chaos Crew were the least annoying they've ever been. I know that's not a very positive thing, given the low bar that they set. The only issue I had with this map was the Giganese boss. I think he was just a bit too durable for my taste. However, thankfully, we had 2 amazing boss fights against Pegasus and, you know, Hercules. You had a pretty good map layout. I enjoyed it immensely. There really isn't that much to say about Ancient Evil. Not many people played it, sadly, because, you know, the BO4 life cycle wasn't the best, but again, same thing with the other maps. I'd recommend trying it if you haven't already. You might just surprise yourself. Now for Cold War, one of my favorites, I think I would have to say Mauer de Toten. I think that all the maps in this game were actually pretty good. Obviously, Mauer and D Machine are my favorites. You know, 5AC isn't as bad as people say it is. It's not an F tier map by any means. Forsaken as well, it's not my favorite, but it's just kind of, it just exists. However, Mauer de Toten I was really impressed. You know, obviously it suffers from the Cold War problem of reusing assets from the campaign. 4 different skyscraper buildings. You could go up onto the roof, you know, the upper layers, downstairs, on the streets. You know, you could even go into the subway, which had a freaking train, which was incredible. The Cerberus wonder weapon was interesting. I did enjoy using it, you know, the 4 different versions, plus the base version, which technically you had 5 different versions of the same wonder weapon, which was cool. The boss fights in this map felt perfectly balanced. You had the Disciples, which were very fast, but ranged. You had the Panzers, which were slow and tanky. You had the Manglers, which were a bit in between. This map had a really interesting map layout. You know, there was open areas, there was areas you could camp. The Easter egg was really good, especially the step where Tobey Maguire stops the train. It's incredible, really reminiscent of that. And then you had the Valentina boss fight, which is not the best fight in Cold War. I think the Legion one's slightly better. However, it was still a very nice boss, and the fact that it has 3 phases is also very cool. Mauer de Toten, we respect you. Finally, last but not least, let's get into my favorite map in Vanguard Zombies, and I would have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite map is